I, Violet Brown, have been with Albert Patterson for 10 years. I said to him, Albert, I'm pregnant. The files in his hand dropped, and he frowned unhappily. Albert said, stop joking. You should know this is a critical moment for my company's IPO. I don't plan to have kids. I said, it's okay. Your career is important. Then, I smiled gently. Albert didn't understand what I meant. I'm pregnant, but he's not the father of my child. Albert's eyes no longer held their usual gentleness, only impatience remained. It's like I'm some kind of troublesome burden. Seeing me stand still, he seemed to realize his words were a bit too harsh. He coughed and adjusted his tone. Albert said, you know, if I don't have a stable career, how can I give you a good life? Be reasonable. We can't keep this child. Besides, your health isn't great to begin with. Maybe if you jump around, run a bit, or take a cold shower, the child will be gone. I stood there in disbelief. I knew he was heartless, but I never thought he could be this cruel. This is a life. How can it sound like trash he can throw away anytime? I asked, can you spare some time to go to the hospital with me? My heart ached deeply, but I still held on to a glimmer of hope. He impatiently slammed the files on the table. Albert said, Violet, I think I've made myself clear. I'm very busy. Handle this trivial matter on your own, and don't come to me again. Saying that, he picked up the phone on the table and transferred some money to me. Albert said, this is for nutrition. I stared blankly at the 5-figure amount on my phone. The bag he casually bought for Esme Black cost far more than this amount. So, in his heart, my child is just this worthless. At this moment, a woman's voice rang out. Albert, why are you so angry? While we were at a stalemate, Esme pushed the door open and walked in. She walked behind Albert and gently squeezed his shoulders. The two of them completely treated me, the legitimate girlfriend, as part of their flirting. All the changes started 2 years ago. That day, Albert was in a meeting when he suddenly took a call and left in a hurry. Later, I found out that day, Esme, whom he had always kept in his heart, returned to the country. Of course, he had to drop everything to pick her up. At first, I didn't take it to heart until Esme became the company's vice president. I went crazy questioning Albert about their relationship, but he just impatiently explained that they were only friends. I believed him. However, a week later, they walked into a hotel hand in hand under the pretense of a business trip. Since then, Albert rarely stayed at home. At the company, they were even more blatant, going to and leaving work together every day. Everyone at the company thought they were the real couple. I coldly said, I didn't expect Miss Black's habit of getting cozy with other men hasn't changed. Esme's face instantly turned red, and tears welled up in her eyes. It was as if she had been wronged. Sure enough, Albert's face turned grim. Albert said, how can you talk like that? This company owes a lot to Esme's help. Otherwise, how could you afford such a good life? Instead of thanking her, you dared to talk back to her? I couldn't help but laugh, thinking, thanks to her? Did Albert forget how, in the early days of starting the business, I stayed with him working overtime at the company every day, running around for deals, and drinking so much at dinners that I ended up with a stomach bleed? A deep sadness welled up in my heart as I slowly looked up at him. I asked, Albert, who is more important, her or me? Albert didn't even glance at me. He said, since when did you become so unreasonable? I knew there was no point in continuing the conversation, so I grabbed my bag and walked away. Behind me, Albert was still comforting Esme. He said, don't take it to heart. She's just like that. What kind of upbringing can an orphan have? Esme wiped away her tears bravely, then smiled and shook her head. She said, it's okay. I know Violet just has a bit of a misunderstanding about me. I just need to work hard to get along with her. She's your girlfriend. I don't want to make things difficult for you. Albert let out a long sigh. He said, you're just too considerate. I really couldn't listen anymore, so I left without looking back. On the way home in the car, after hesitating for a long time, I still took out my phone and called my mother, Harper Brown. The international call was a bit unstable, so it took 3 tries before Harper answered. I said, "Mom, it's me." Harper on the other end clearly paused for a moment, her voice tinged with sobs. She said, "How could you be so heartless? I only stopped you from being with that poor boy back then, and you haven't contacted me for so many years. You really broke my heart." After I got together with Albert, my parents already didn't think highly of him. After they investigated him, they were shocked to find out he had hidden the truth from me and that his family actually had hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. My father, Grayson Brown, immediately objected, saying that a man like him was very scheming and I was no match for him. But at that time, I was blinded by love and, despite their objections, resolutely cut off all contact with my family. To this day, Albert still thinks I'm an orphan with no parents. I stayed with him from scratch, step by step helping him pay off the debt. Later, he became a respected CEO, and I became the burden he wanted to discard. I said, "Mom, I'm pregnant." Hearing what I said, there was a loud crash from Harper's side, probably from falling to the ground. After a long silence, Harper finally sighed. She said, "Since you've decided, come back to Paris in 3 days. Just let me take care of you." After hanging up the phone, I felt really upset. I thought, in this world, being a daughter to my parents is truly the easiest. I thought, "Albert, since you don't cherish me, I'm leaving." When I got home, the house was indeed still empty and cold. Albert's last visit seemed to be half a month ago. I gave a bitter smile, then put down what I was holding. Just as I was about to freshen up, I suddenly received a message from a friend. Esme is so shameless, posting something like that on Instagram. Curiously, I opened Esme's Instagram only to be hit directly by a photo. In the photo, she was taking a selfie in the hotel mirror, almost topless. And the man facing away from the camera was holding her tightly. If they were a couple, it would at most be considered a little romance between lovers. But through the scar on the man's shoulder, I recognized it was Albert, who was supposed to be working overtime. Back when we were in the honeymoon phase, Albert had no money. Our only entertainment was hiking the free mountain next to the cheap rental house. But once, I encountered falling rocks while hiking. At the critical moment when the rock was about to hit my head, Albert forcefully pushed me away. In the end, the rock hit him, leaving this scar. At that time, I was so moved that I cried and secretly vowed to stay with Albert forever. But I never expected a man's heart to change so quickly. Through blurry tears, I saw the text Esme wrote. I said the scar was ugly, and he said he'd tattoo it with my name tomorrow. I suddenly laughed. So, it turns out that what I called love was just me deceiving myself.